Hi and welcome to another one of the Tech Geeks videos. All right, we get so many questions asked about Starlink that we thought the best thing to do was to get our own setup, set it up here as an example, show you some of the bits here. Look, this is not meant to be a big technical overview because there are plenty of people out there that know way more than I do and the stuff here about Starlink. We're more interested in showing you the basics and then how you can use what you've got here to extend the Wi-Fi in your property or maybe to another building or even out to your watering holes, your boreholes or anything else like that. So many of you probably have been sent your lovely big Starlink box, maybe not in quite as good condition as that. I know that some people have had these received pretty bashed up and everything. Also, for many of you, you'll know that you don't often receive a new one of these now. Mine was definitely refurbed, it was dirty on the back and everything else, so I just cleaned it up, but it doesn't stop the functionality of it. But what we want to just show you is the key components that you need, firstly to get this set up, and then how to make a few changes so that you can then add on other vendors' equipment. Just a quick overview, what is Starlink? All right, so when I started maybe 25 years ago, we used to do satellite installations, you know, a 2-meter dish, you needed a lining tool, line it up to only 1 or 2 different satellites. You maybe would get 5 or 8 megasecond download speed. You'd need to use your normal modem at 64K to get an upload, just via a normal route, like over the internet in a normal way. Now we have moved to the point where Starlink has thousands of satellites in low orbit around the world, all right, and each one of those can give internet access for a specific area of the planet below it, which is really, really exciting because we can see speeds of hundreds of megasecond from this. They can be used on the top of recreation vehicles. You can be top of your homestead, out on your farm, watching crops, wherever you can think about finding internet connectivity. All right, now a new world has opened up. All right, so your request for your web page or whatever you're going to is going to leave this dish that's going to be lined up to one of the closest satellites. It's going to head up, hit that satellite. That satellite is going to bounce it back down to a ground station. So here in Australia, in each state, there's at least one ground station. That ground station then carries it over normal fiber connections to the rest of its destination. All right, so really what we're doing is we're using the satellite for the shortest amount of time possible. Now, you don't get much in the box. There isn't a need for much. You're going to get your dish, all right, you're going to get your router, all right, and you're going to get essentially some cables, about 29 meters I think it is of cable, all right, and your power cable. That is really all you need. Now, we're not going to help you install this, but what you really want to do is go to the website Installers Near Me, all right, and they have a list of installers across Australia that have got cable certifications. They can mount this up on the right place, pointing in the right direction for you. And if you buy other equipment from us or work with them, we work for many installers across Australia, they can also mount that additional wireless equipment at the same time. So, all right, we've got all this basics here. This is already pointing roughly in a southerly direction. We thought by doing this outside, we could at least deconstruct some of it so you could really see all the different components. So our first thing that we're going to do is obviously connect up our dish to our modem. So this dish needs to have been mounted south facing somewhere on the outside of your property. All right, and from it you're going to have a cable like this. It's going to have come through the wall, down a pole, maybe it's been mounted on your roof. All right, and that's going to get put firstly into the back of our wireless router here. So you'll see in the bottom here there are only 2 connections, all right, power and the connection to the dish. There's no Ethernet or anything like that. This is on the rectangular one that I have. The older circle ones, I believe, did have an Ethernet on the modem that came with it. But later on, we'll talk about what we need to do to extend this so that we can bring this out to an Ethernet port, and then that opens up a whole new world of opportunities for us. So I'm going to plug in now my dish to my router, all right, and I'm going to plug in my mains to the router now as well. All right, so if you've not already downloaded the Starlink app, then I would suggest that you do that ahead and ready to go, because that's where we're going to control all of the features from. So now we're all ready. What we're going to do is we are going to plug this into the mains and let this start up. Now, many people go, my router doesn't work. All right, this sort of looks like it should have some lights showing here, maybe when it's doing something linked with a few satellites, but it literally does nothing. All there is a tiny little white light between these two cables here that shows you that the modem is online. So look for that little white light. That is the only hope you're going to get. So now, what you want to do is you want to find your wireless connection. If you've got this out of the box, refurbed, or new, you may find a wireless connection called Stinky. So you want to connect to that first. You can change that name obviously later on. In my example here, I've already renamed it to Starlink Test. All right, so you want to join that and then start up your Starlink app, and it'll probably show you what it's doing. It maybe show you that it's searching or it's booting, and in a moment this is probably going to start changing location. Here we go. It's now going to start locating the closest satellites. Often find that this takes 4 or 5 minutes to truly get itself the best location. Just to help you understand, this subscription here I have is the RV, so the portable version is deprioritized, so during the daytime we don't get superb speeds, but obviously you can get several hundred megasecond on these depending on your location. So we're going to let that settle. While that's settling, all right, that is really all there is to this. The router isn't too bad, all right, it's just wireless. It will do 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It's only a wireless 5 router, but since you're only going to get about 300 meg tops out of Starlink, and since Wi-Fi 5 will give you over 600, maybe 1,000 megasecond, all right, probably will do you. The problem you have with it is more how to extend it a bit further around your property, so we're going to help you with that. Mine now says that it's online. So I'm just going to jump into the app here and do a speed test. Our first speed test is going to sort of be a combination of our speed to the router and our speed to the dish itself. What I'm really interested later on is going to the advanced settings, because that's just going to check my speed from my phone to the router, and then from the router to the Starlink satellite constellation and back down again. So this has almost run the whole route. We'll just let that finish. I'm now going to click on the bottom and say run advanced test. This is now going to run our advanced test. Sometimes I've seen that this does realign itself. The dish, we're a little bit later now in the afternoon, so the location has probably changed very slightly. All right, there we can see we're getting a pretty good speed on our download, and we can see in a moment when it goes over to that Wi-Fi speed test that we're getting a fairly good connection here to our router as well. So that really is our starting point. All right, we've taken this, we've gone to the installers near me website, and we've got one of those guys to come out, fit this securely, run the cable down. There we go, it's lining itself again. Here we go, properly finding where lining itself up. They've lined it up, they've run a cable down from your roof through, and they've put one of these in your property. All right, so what is the next thing that we want to do? Before we get on to all of those bits that we want to be able to do with it, we need to have got ourselves the Ethernet adapter, all right? If you've not already bought this, you need to hop on the Starlink shop and purchase this. It's only about $60, but this is going to go in line, all right? And it's going to allow us to come out to an Ethernet port. That's allow us to take us to a switch and going to give us a whole more open world to the features and options that we can add to this. All right, so what we're going to now do is just going to go in the app, all right, and we are going to move to settings. In settings, we've got some advanced options that we can choose, and in those advanced options there you will see it gives you the ability to put this back into pass-through mode that you can see there. So when we've put this in place, and maybe we've got a brand new router, then we're going to put this into pass-through. You can't do this if you're just going to connect a wireless access point, because this is giving out your wireless connection. So this is the bit that still needs to be in line to make it all work. It's only going to work if you've got another router on here, because currently this is giving out your IP addresses. So once you are ready, you've got your new router in there, maybe it be a Rugi, maybe it be an Asus or a TP-Link, then you can put this in pass-through mode, and this is becoming fairly dumb at this point. It's not giving out IP addresses. If you want to, and you're quite happy just to leave this wireless running for your peace of mind, then you can still put your new router in, all right, just connect it to the Ethernet port on here, and just remember that anything that's plugged into that is still going to be controlled by this router, But the great thing is that it's actually also the IP addresses, but most of it is being run still through your new piece of equipment. But I really would suggest that you do change it and put a different router in. All right, if you're not using this, and some of the common things that people need to do is need to be able to stow this, which means we need to be able to change something. So we're going to do this, so we're going to change the Ethernet cable. So we're just going to hit the word stow. It's going to ask us, do we want to stow it? All right, it's basically going to pack this away ready to be moved. And then we can disconnect it and put in our Ethernet cable. So like I said, we maybe want to, if you want to just keep this router, the router is going to be great for you. But if you want to extend it further, then we need to put our Ethernet adapter in line. So once we put this into stowed mode, we're just going to disconnect our power from here. And we're then going to take out our cable that's come down from our roof or wherever it's been mounted. And this is going to connect into this side of the Ethernet adapter. All right, and this gives us the ability just to extend on. And then we're just going to switch over to the back here and plug this here now into our router. All right, and we should now be able to power everything back up again and give it a few minutes. So now we have the ability to connect this to a network switch. All right, and if we just connect that to a network switch, this router is going to give out all of our IP addresses, and this is going to provide us the wireless. We could put another wireless product on here, and we could allow it to give out IP addresses. All of that's going to be just fine. But what you probably really want to do is plug this into a new router, all right, and build your network from there. Use the app like I've shown you to change this into bypass mode. You're still going to need to leave this on, but it's not going to be actually doing anything. So to use any of the other features we're going to show you shortly about how to extend your Wi-Fi across your property, you really need this Ethernet adapter, and really probably need a router. Unless this is doing well for you, still keep this for wireless in your property, and then you can come out to a switch and allow you to connect this to another building or something like that. You can see it's now realigning itself after we put power back in. All right, but hopefully that gives you a rundown of all the components that you get, how you need to basically put those together ready to use it. But hopefully the key takeaway before you head on to one of the next segments is really you need this adapter, and we're going to show you from there how to set it up in a way that will work to either increase the wireless connectivity in your main property or how to extend it out to other properties.